It's super late, or early, I guess, so I'm gonna have to do a whisper intro outro, but I'll voice over the rest of the video, so don't worry, it's not gonna be all me whispering. So anyway, welcome back to the Halloween tea party, guys, where I'm attempting to do 31 tutorials for the 31 days of October. Today's look is a cell shaded poison ivy. And yeah, let's get painting. I'm starting out with some barrier spray because greens can be a bit stainy. And then I'm popping on my wig just so that when I'm mapping things out, I know where the hair falls, because we'll want shadows underneath where the hair is. Even though you know the hair's gonna cast its own natural shadow, but hey. I'm mapping that out with an eyebrow pencil and then taking off my wig because I don't like to paint my face with my hair in my face. And then I'm mapping out the rest of the look. So I'm just mapping out where there's going to be highlights and shadows. You don't have to use an eyebrow pencil for this, but either use something that is the same color as the colors you're going to be putting down so it doesn't show through, or use something that's not so pigmented that it's going to show through the paint. Once I'm happy with how everything is mapped out, I'm taking a white face paint and filling in the lightest of the highlights. And I'm using a detail brush so that I can get really nice crisp lines. Part of cell shading style is having those really nice crisp lines, but sometimes I do like to blend them out a bit so that they're not kind of too intense. But it's nice to start with crisp lines so that you can see how it looks and then decide if you want to blend it. Once the brightest highlights are down, I'm switching over to the darkest green shade I'm using to add in all of the shadows. And I'm using an eyeshadow packing brush for this because a lot of the areas are much larger than with the highlights. Especially because we have that huge shadow on one side of the face from the hair. If you're careful with your eyeshadow brush, you can still get really nice crisp lines, but if yours aren't coming out crisp enough, then you can just go in with a detail brush just to neaten them all up a bit. Then I'm going back to the highlights and I'm taking a light green shade. And a lot of these are going to be placed around the white to act as a transition between that bright white highlight and the mid-tone. But there will be areas where this highlight is going to appear without the white as well. You know, not all of the highlights that hit our face are even. Some of them are going to be super bright, some of them are going to be shiny, and some are just going to be a bit highlighted compared to the skin around them. I did find with this specific green that when it dried, it was more on the yellow side of a green, and that didn't transition too well with my other green shades, but I did go back in and add an extra layer to them, and that seemed to bring it more to the green side of things. Then I'm going in with my mid-tone and just filling in all of the areas that are left on my face without color on them. And I'm using quite a small eyeshadow brush for this because I don't want to ruin the nice clean lines that I have down, but I do want to fill in everything faster than it would take me with a detail brush. But you know, again, if it's easier for you to kind of go around everything with a detail brush in this green first so that you get those crisp lines, then go for it. Then, because I didn't want the neck to just be sticking out all pink, I'm mapping out the design on my neck with the eyebrow pencil. And as you can see, I'm kind of contorting myself around a bit to get the things in my neck to pop out, to get my collarbones to pop out, so that I can get the placement of them, because that's where the highlights and shadows are mainly going to be. So we really want to see where those things are. But it does make you look a bit strange when you're kind of just wiggling your head around like Lord Voldemort. And for painting the neck, it's pretty much the same theory. So I'm using the same kind of shades. I'm starting out with the mid-tone just to go around the edges of everything. Then going in with the lighter green tone to add in the highlights. Then going in with my shadow tone to add in the shadows, and you know the shadows are generally going to fall underneath all of these areas that pop out. So underneath the collarbone they'll be much harsher, underneath those muscles in your neck it's going to be much harsher, and then just filling in all of the rest with the mid-tone. And I'm not using any white on the neck because your neck generally doesn't have super strong highlights on them, because your neck is kind of in the shade of your face. So if you had super strong highlights hitting your face from above, the chances are they're not also going to be hitting your neck. Once I've got most of the colors down, I just kind of take a look at everything and decide if I want to brighten up any of the highlights, if I want to mute them back, if anything is looking patchy and just needs some extra help, if I want to blend things out, things like that. So I decided that the white highlights were just a bit too strong for this look, so I dragged some of the light green into them. And I blended the light green into the mid-tone a bit. The only thing I really left quite harsh was the shadows, because they're all coming from things, you know, like the hair or the side of the nose, where it would make sense for those shadows to be quite harsh. For the eyes, I'm painting the entire lid up to my crease black, and then I'm giving it quite a big wing at the sides. And then I'm drawing a thinnish line just on my lower lash line to make it look like they've been completely outlined. Then I'm adding in some detail lines, so around the temples, down the sides of the nose, some little frown lines, because Poison Ivy is quite frowny. And for these kind of lines, it's better to do kind of quick, short, broken lines instead of very continuous lines. We don't want to like outline the entire nose, or it's going to look a bit strange. I'm filling in my brows with the same black face paint, and I did find that this is actually a really difficult way to fill in your brows, because I'm using a soft brush, so the soft brush isn't really strong enough to get through the hairs and apply to the skin underneath, and you kind of end up having to just make your brows bigger and bigger to account for all the smudgy, non-crisp lines you're getting from the paint applying to the hair. So yeah, either use an angled brush to do this or a stiffer brush, or if you have like a gel liner or something or a dark eyebrow product, then maybe go for that. For the lips, I'm lining them in red and filling them in with a liquid to matte red lipstick. Liquid to matte is the best for this because it's going to dry and set so that we can paint on top of it without worrying about all of the painting we've done on top smudging into the lipstick as the night goes on. While I wait for the lipstick to dry, I'm just continuing adding some of those detail lines onto the neck and the chest area. Then I'm outlining my lips with the black, and this is where you really want to take time, because I always think the lips on these looks look so amazing that you just want it to be perfect and to get a really nice, crisp, even line going around the lips. If you have a really firm black lip liner that's not going to smudge around on you, then it would probably be easier to use that to do this than to use the black face paint. I'm dragging a bit of the black face paint just into the corners of my lips to make them look bigger. It's kind of like lip contouring, so just add some shadows in the corners. And then I'm taking some white face paint to add the highlights onto the lips. To make my lips look even bigger, I'm adding a small black line just to the center of my bottom lip, not going all the way across, just a small line. It's going to make your lips look really kind of puffy. And I'm adding a small highlight just along the top of the Cupid's bow, just along the edge of that black line. And then to finish everything up, I'm adding a few more detail lines to the face, like along the contours of the cheeks, and painting my ears green because we don't want pink ears giving away our true identities. So that's it, guys. You are now Poison Ivy. Now get out there and make people itch. There'll be another video going up tomorrow, so if you want to be notified when that's live, then you can hit the subscribe button. And if you like this look and this video, you can let me know by hitting the like button. If you've got any questions or comments or anything like that, let me know in the comment section. If you decide to recreate this look, I would love to see how it comes out. You can post it on social media, tag me in the post and use the hashtag Halloween Tea Party, and then I will see it. I am also having a competition over on Instagram, so if you want to be in with a chance of winning some prizes, head over there and you'll find all the details. I'll leave some links in the description box along with all of the products I've used today. If this look isn't quite what you were looking for, then here are some other tutorials that might be a bit more your thing. I hope you all have an amazing Halloween, guys, and I will see you tomorrow, where hopefully I won't be whispering. Did I have lipstick on my teeth the whole time?